What's going on, all you bike voyeurs? You're checking out my bikes without my permission. You think you can just do that? Well, you can, because it's Scott from Fly Rides. I'm here with the Cube Stereo Hybrid 140 SL 500 watt-hour battery today. We're going to take a look at this full suspension mountain bike from Cube. It is a fully integrated battery from Bosch. Performance CX motor on this guy, 250 watts. You probably know the Bosch specs if you've been checking about e-bikes for a while. So we're gonna look at some different stuff. This is gonna be a little bit of an overview, not gonna be a ride video today. I hope to get out on this later so I can do a full review for you guys. But for right now, let's just take a look at the specs. I'm gonna put this thing up on the stand and then we'll go into a little more detail. Let's check it out, guys. All right, guys, we have our bike up on the stand right here. So we'll just go through real quick. Basically, let's start with the suspension. So you've got Fox suspension front and rear. It's a Fox 34 Rhythm on the front. We'll get close-ups on this. So Fox 34 went on the front, pretty comparable to like a Yari, I would say, RockShox Yari on that. So it's not quite entry level. It's definitely more of an advanced fork, but it's not going to be Fox's like top of the line stuff. Just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. It's a Fox Float DPS in the back, which I think is a great rear shock. It's fantastic, especially for the price point on this bike. Cube setup is basically a horse link, so it's like a 4-point pivot system. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here are your pivot points. Really nice and easy. It's pretty classic. High Bike uses something similar. FSR is pretty similar. So it's a pretty traditional setup in terms of the suspension right there. Not going to be anything super fancy like with the rigid rear triangles or anything. But it's all preference-based. I mean, I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's totally preference-based. This is going to keep your wheel on the ground a little bit better, but you might get a little bit more pedal bob. And then you've got the Shimano Dior XT in the back as well, so that does come with a clutch as well, so you can lock that out, which is really nice. So you've got Shimano Dior XT hydraulic disc brakes as well. Front and rear, you got 203 millimeter rotors, which is fantastic. I think that's really nice. They classified this bike as classification 4. Cube has it's up to 6 different levels. Basically, that means it's going to be good for trail ridings. They say drops and jumps, half a meter is going to be your your limit in terms of that. But it's basically the way it's set up. It's good for trail riding. A little bit of all mountain stuff, I would say. It's similar if you want to go with different companies. You got a similar look to like a full 7 from High Bike or a full 7 LT. It's kind of right in between those two because it's 140 millimeters of travel. It's kind of similar to the Focus in terms of the geometry. It's a 74 degree angle. It's 74 degrees on the seat tube, and then it's 67.3, I believe, on the head tube. So basically, it's right in between those two. A little less aggressive than like an all-mountain. For me, though, a lot of these newer all-mountains from these e-bike companies, they're too aggressive. I know everyone likes to think they're going to be out there just like tearing it up. But you're probably not going to be, most riders are going to be comfortable on this kind of bike, which is why we're really interested in them. We've gone pretty heavy on these this year. Of course, you got the Bosch Performance CX motor, 250 watts, 75 newton meters of torque. It's a 500 watt-hour battery. This one comes with a Purion display, so the Purion is the one that comes off to the left, just a smaller little thumb pad. They do have a kiosk as well, which is going to be Bosch's newest display. I really like the Purion personally. Off to the left, it's just a little bit easier with the mountain biking. The Intuvia display is great for commuting. It gives you a lot of information. But for mountain biking, you just don't need that much up in your face, and all it does is really get in the way. You do get a dropper seat post on this one. It's pretty well set up for like a full, ready-to-go, full suspension mountain bike. Really nice tires on there. A lot of people skimp tires on you. It's the Schwalbe Hamsdampf. I don't really know how to pronounce it. And they're not like the crazy plus-size tires that a lot of companies are going with these days, too. Thanks for tuning in today. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you liked. Again, we are going to try to get a ride video. I have ridden this bike myself. It's fantastic. I mean, it climbs well. It goes downhill really nicely as well. I'm always a fan of the Bosch motor. I think it's a fantastic motor, and it's going to be around for a long time, so get used to it. I think integration-wise, every company does the integration a little bit differently. Cube probably is the best in terms of the Bosch integration because they've been integrating the power pack for so long that they just have a better plan. I think High Bike, it just feels a little heavy and a little like the steering's a little bit off sometimes depending on the bike, but Cube pretty much has it down to a science at this point. So I think you guys are gonna like this bike. Check them out again, shopsandiegoflyrides.com, and subscribe and like this channel. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.